And we're live. Hello, everybody. What's going on? Let's say hello to everybody. Tom, let me get my participants list out here. I want to say hello to Rob, Tool Vets crew member. Appreciate your support. 3+1 Outdoors. What's going on? There is my sister, Betty, over at A Couple Crosses Fishing. How you doing, dear? Art from One Ton Fishing Club. What's going on, Art? Avid Fisherman. How you doing, Avid? Thanks for sharing out the links in Catfish Weekly. I appreciate you. Brian B. Catfishing. He had a great weekend this weekend. He got, how big was his blue? Do you remember?
52 and a half.
52 and a half. That's a pretty big, or big. I don't know. It was pretty big though. Anyway, great fish, Brian. I appreciate you for being a crew member too. I see Buck Williams in the house. What's going on, Buck? There's Aaron, Catfish Regulators, your partner in crime. He's another crew member. How you doing, Aaron? What's going on? Miss Cindy Stokes, the Cinnamon Bun Terminator. Well, Chad's the Terminator. She's the maker. She's the reason he can terminate him. I see Skip over at Clearview Outdoors. What's going on, Skip? Crappie Day Fish On. What's up, my friend? Creole Catfishing. How you doing, Jeremy? I'm going to make you a mod. I don't know why you're not a mod, but I see Dan Thompson, crew member. Oh, you are a mod. There it goes. It just popped on. That's odd. Dan Thompson. What's going on, Dan? Another crew member. Fishing Freedom. What's up, bud? Another crew member. Fishing with Squirrel. What's going on, buddy? Fishing and Cooking with Mr. Mike Chavez. How you doing, Mike? Fishing for Whiskers. Hello. Freddy's Outdoor Adventures. Another crew member. Welcome, Freddie. There's Gabe Dufour. What's going on, Gabe? How you doing, young man? Get Hooked on D Fishing. What's up, Sister D? Another crew member. We got Has Life in the House. What's up, Has? Crew member, Hooks and Hammocks. What's up, Chris? How you doing? It's All Mine. I know who that is, but I don't know if she wants to be recognized, but well, hello, it's All Mine. How you doing? There's Jacob Hagen. What's going Hagen or Hey Gene? I apologize. Hello, Jacob. How you doing? Jay Foxhunter, crew member. What's up, buddy? John Patrick Jr. JP3 Outdoors crew member. What's up, JP3? How you doing, my friend? Lance McCougai. What's up? Local Life Outdoors. Mark Anthony, how you doing? Mr. Maurice Kaysen, what's up, Maurice? How you doing, bud? Mike's Fishing Home, another great crew member. How you doing, Mike? Miss Catfish Regulators, what's up, Lisa? How you doing? There's Roger from Muskrat Adventures. Had a great show with the kids this weekend. I'm about a third of the way through it. I'm watching it in the rear, so I apologize, Roger, but I am watching it. There's Paul Catches Them All. What's up, Paul? Philip Williams. There's Pontoon Jody Catfishing. We'll talk about her in a few minutes here. We'll talk about the weekend and what happened. There's Ryan Borst, Blue Collar Fishing. What's going or Blue Collar Life? Sorry, Force of Habit. Check him out on Thursdays before fishing with the Chad. Oh, look, he's sporting the Pontoon Jody shirt. I got one of them. Pretty cool stuff. We got there's Setting Hooks and Crossing Eyes. Hopefully Jonathan, who went live right before Catfish Weekly, got on some more fish after I left. That was cool to see you guys in there hanging out. Skin and Scales Fishing. What's up, buddy? Solo Text Adventures. What's up, Ricky? How you doing? It's Stephen Corley, Mississippi Life. How you doing, Stephen? Hope things are getting better your way. I know you're having some hard times at home or with some family members, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I apologize if I got it totally wrong. Outdoors with Dave. What's up? Josh, the Weekend Angler. What's up, Trouble? We got Tim Molina, crew member. What's going on, Tim? I know I said hello to you twice in Catfish Weekly. I didn't do that on purpose. I just kind of did that to make sure that I didn't forget you. But I'd rather tell you twice than not at all. I see Uncle Josh, One Ton Fishing Club. Josh's bladesmithing. Josh is putting out some pretty cool blades. I've been seeing the ones that have been getting posted on Facebook. Good stuff, Josh. Way to go. I see Matt to be outdoor or want to be outdoors. Matt, what's up? Whiskers and Stripes. What's up, my friend? Let's see if we got anybody I missed. I see Air Run in the house. Chris Usselton, what's up, Chris? Believe I got it right that time. Dan, David Smith, if I missed you, there's Fishing with Squirrel. I think I got you earlier. Gabe, I got. John Patrick Jr. Keith Smart, what's going on, Keith? Hopefully you're feeling better and better and stronger every day, my friend. Local Life Outdoors. Lost River Jones, what's going on, Lost River? I think that's a new one. Mark Anthony, I said hello. Lisa's in there. Paul Catches Them All. I love that name. I think I did say hello. Skin and Scales Fishing. What's up, my friend? How you doing? The Outdoors with Dave, I believe I said, and I think I got everybody. If I missed anybody, I apologize. There's quite a bunch of people here in chat. Appreciate all of you, and thank you for all the thumbs up. So let's get started with the show. Welcome to the Catfish and Crappie podcast. I want to make sure I give a shout out to Betty for the 99-cent super chat. I appreciate you. I appreciate the support as always. Thank you very much, dear. Today's guest is Tom Owens. What's going on, Tom? Also known as LGBASS. What's going on, Tom?
Not a whole lot. I'm doing great. I appreciate you having me. I just want to start by saying your girl in the hair and the makeup are down in the basement. I told her to make me beautiful, and this is what she did. You need to fire that girl.
You look fantastic, and you got to remember that most of my listens come through on a podcast. So I like to think I have a face for a face for radio and a voice for author, and so, but worst of both worlds for me. So you're doing just fine. For those of you that are listening on the podcast, LGBASS is Tom, also known as LGBASS, is part of the catfish community. He catches a lot of fish. Just because his name is LGBASS, he definitely knows how to get on the catfish, especially from that dock. So just a little short little background as to why I think you're so special that I wanted you to have you on my show, making that whole switch from bass over to catfish. But we'll talk about that later. What I like to start my show off with is getting a little bit of your fishing history. Where'd you start? You got any stories from when you were a kid? Maybe you can share some of that with us. We always appreciate it.
Sure. I got my fishing start when I was a young kid, maybe 5, 6, somewhere around there. My grandparents lived in northern New Hampshire, almost on the Canadian border. And I would go up there for our summers, and we would walk all the brooks and the streams for catching native brook trout. And I fell in love with it. I couldn't wait to get back. Every time we left, I cried until it was time to go back there. And I really, really enjoyed that. And I got a little bit older, and I got into the bass fishing and started using artificials. I said it didn't matter what I threw as long as it was a man's jelly worm, 6-inch black. And I think I don't know how many bass I caught on that worm, and they still sell them today. But now they have so many things you can buy. It's all about being different. So, but I still got some, and they still do work. I don't take them out as much as I used to, but
I think it's more about catching the fishermen sometimes than it is the fish. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh yeah. Back then they only had 3 colors, or there's 4 colors. There was black, motor oil, grape, and strawberry. Those are the only 4 colors you could get them in.
Motor oil they call what? Green pumpkin nowadays?
Yeah, pretty much. Yep.
Pretty much. That's what it kind of changed to, a marketing ploy. Kind of how they called
root beer.
A root beer.
Some of the root beers kind of look that way. Yeah, root beer, green fleck. Yeah.
That's a killer color with fleck or without, man. I don't care what you're doing. You can catch anything on them. As soon as I throw that green watermelon or motor oil or whatever you want to call it, little crappie jig on there, I'm catching anything and everything from bass to pike to crappie to perch. For some reason, they just like that color. That's like a magic color, an all around color as far as I'm concerned. So now, those are the ones that come pre-rigged with the 3 hooks that run through the middle of them?
No, those were the old cream worms. The ones that were pre-rigged. Cream, CREME, I believe it was spelled.
Right. I just bought some cream crappie, little tiny crankbaits from Walmart. They were on sale. So if you guys got a Walmart near you, go check them out. They're like $1.28. You can't go wrong with them, especially for smaller fish, panfish and such. But there I go, getting off topic. Before you know, I'll start talking about bacon here in a minute, but we're not going to do that. We're going to try not to. But I had to get that mentioned in every show. All right, so you got started with bass, and what drew you to bass fishing?
We had a pond, and that's what was biting. We had bass and pickerel and bluegill and crappie, or as they call them in Massachusetts, they're called calico bass.
Calico bass, that's right. There's calico bass, specks, sockeye, crappie, whatever. They all taste good as far as I'm concerned. I don't care what you call them. I know I give some people some business about calling flathead something other than flathead, but that's okay. I still don't mind. As long as they're on the other end of my line, I'm a happy guy.
Yeah, right. As long as the pole's bended. We had the only catfish we had there were black bullheads, and up there they're called hornpout. And they didn't get very big. If you caught one that was 2.5, 3 pounds, that was a giant. and they were actually more of a nuisance than anything. When you're trying to get them off, and they get all them spines, and you're a young kid, and trying to use your pliers to shake them off so you don't got to grab them. And I never really much cared for those when I was up there.
A 2-pound bullhead is nothing to scoff at. If I'm catching them that big, I'm a happy guy. There's a lot of anglers out there that'll be happy to get a state record bullhead. That'd get me pretty excited, to be honest. I think it's just over like 4 pounds in here in Illinois. So
wow.
I think I might have had close to a 3, the biggest one I've ever had on a line. Notice I didn't say caught, because I got it right up to the bank with 4-pound test, and it broke off as soon as I went to drag it up there. But it definitely they're definitely fun to catch. There's Chad. Glad you could join us. How you doing, Melissa? What's going on, dear? I wanted to highlight a Chad here. Somebody had one. I apologize for there we go. Somebody says that Mark says bacon more than Stan says sturgeon. I don't know about all that. Would you agree with that comment from Mike's Fishing Home?
I think so. Yeah.
You do? You think I say it more than Stan says sturgeon?
It's such a lovely word. It goes with everything. Yeah.
Bacon's more available to the masses anyway, so there you go.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit. So where are you? Okay, now you had mentioned pickerel. So let's take a step back. Where are you located? Where do you live?
Now I live in Southern Virginia, on the North Carolina border. I live on Lake Gaston, which runs east to west, and the border runs right through the center of it. So the other side of the lake is North Carolina.
Now, how's that work with fishing licenses, or is there reciprocity, just out of curiosity?
Yeah, they have a reciprocal agreement. You can fish on either one. And it's the same with Kerr Lake, which is connected to us. It's on the west of us, connected by a dam, and they have the same agreement there. So we can fish either lake with either license.
Okay. Now, you had mentioned pickerel, and pickerel's more or less a lot more popular on the East Coast than, let's say, a pike is, correct?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, the pike tend to be more in the north where there's colder water, and we have the small ones here, as we call them, snot rockets.
We call pike that here in the Midwest too, so it's not too far off. And Lyle will attest to that when he caught his first one in Mendota. I don't see why a blue cat fisherman like Lyle would think that a pike is nastier than a blue cat, but that's another story. That's a little side note there. So the pickerel, they don't get as big as pike. So they're a good sized pickerel is what, like 20 inches, 24 inches? That's a big one.
20, 24. Yeah, that's about as big as we get them. And I'll tell you, they hit all the bass lures. And when you get up in those shallow pockets and stuff, and they can be some heartbreakers in a bass tournament. I had tournament, we had about 10 minutes left to fish, and I hooked one of them, and I thought it was a bass. And I was like yelling for the net from a partner. And then when it came up and I saw what it was, I was devastated. It was a 22, 23 inch pickerel, and he was mad.
Yeah, they get pretty angry. They're compared to pike and well, I don't know about muskie. I'm not that big a muskie fisherman. I haven't caught enough of them to be able to attest. But I know that the pickerel, they're pretty angry little guys. They're like the bullhead of the pike family. What are they called? Eots or something like that. You'll have to forgive me, but they're pretty angry. I know a bunch of guys that use fly rod and reel to catch them, and they say they have a blast after them. They have a lot of fun. That's something I've been wanting to try. I have a guest coming up here, I think, in the next couple of months. It's kind of way out. We'll get to that. He's another East Coast fisherman, so I'm looking forward to talking to him. But only reason why I'm kind of enamored with the pickerel is because I just watched a video of his where he actually made pickled pickerel, which looked pretty good. That's one thing that I want to try this year. I haven't had that in forever, so maybe if I get around with it, we can do a catch and cook, because I know that a lot of people here in chat, I don't know about the podcast, but I know in chat they're not big on the sushi, and when they see me eating pickled freshwater fish, it might freak them out a little bit. So that'll be good to get the reaction out of them. All right, so you touched base a little bit on tournament fishing. So you did fish some tournaments, right?
Yeah, I've been fishing bass tournaments since the mid '90s. Actually had the pleasure of fishing in a few 4 or 5 of the BASS events on the amateur side. And I traveled as far away as Table Rock Lake in southwestern Missouri to fish. And I fished with some of the big name pros up there, and just had a blast. Made a little bit of money, I didn't get rich off of it, but I paid all my expenses a couple of times. It was a great experience to learn from those guys.
It definitely is an experience. And how long did you say you fished the tournaments? Or you fished tournaments for?
I started in probably around 95, 96.
Okay.
And until about a year ago, April or whenever the COVID started, all my tournaments were ended for the season. Here, they didn't want anybody more than 10 people at the ramp at any one time, and we launched a tournament, and there was 10 of us, and we came back in, and there was 100 of people all running around the dock, and kids running wild, and dogs, and people with their pontoon boats sideways on their trailers. And so at the time, Michelle and I were babysitting our grandson every other week, and he was 2. And I said, you know what? There ain't enough money in the world to risk me getting sick out here, to come bring it home to my grandson. So
yeah.
So I stopped the fishing and parked the boat in the driveway and went out one night. My son said, let's go out fishing. Let's go down to the dock. The guys are catching some catfish. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, yeah. Hey, my kid wants to spend time with me. I'm not going to pass that up. He was my bass buddy when he was younger, and then he discovered gaming systems and Game Boys and Xboxes, and they didn't want to fish with me no more. So he said, let's go. So I jumped at it. And
there you go.
it was like the second night we were down there, he caught a 43.5-pound blue. And shortly after that, he got a 35-pound flathead, and right off the dock. And I said, hey, man, I kind of like this. So the year went, and the bass fishing never opened back up. And at the beginning of the year, I was thinking, well, what am I going to do? And I said, I'm going to commit a year to the catfishing. I'm not going to bass fish, and I'm going to give this a full year and see what happens and see if I really, really like it. So I guess haven't been converted yet to the point that I'm not ever going to bass fish again, but I'm really digging this.
It's just another feather in your cap. That's the way I look at it. I mean, I fish for more than just, catfish, more than just than crappie. Those are like my main fish that I go after because they're most available to me. But man, there's nothing that says you can't go back to chasing bass or pickerel or even trout. Imagine going and walking through a stream or something like that. That sounds like a good time to me. It don't matter. I'm an equal opportunity angler, and you guys can quote me on that. So I'll even chase some more burbot this year. I'm thinking about doing that meeting land up north in Milwaukee. So cool. So you took part in a local club by you too, right? Can you tell me what clubs are like? You'd mentioned the tournament things, but let's talk a little bit on a local level. What's it like being part of a fishing club?
It's not bad. The club I was in, we had, I don't know, about 15 members, and wide range of young guys, old guys, different experience levels. And however, in any group of any size, when you have, say, 10 or 15 people in a group, it gets hard to make plans because everybody thinks a little differently, and you can't never get everybody to agree on something. So, there was a little bit of back and forth when this all ended, and I said that was one of the things I said. That's one of the things I don't miss. I mean, I have my boat. I can go fishing all the time. I don't need any. I don't have to be a part of a club. I don't have to pay any dues or anything. And but it's nice to have a little bit of, competitive nature with some friends. The club that I was in was more about camaraderie and, having fun. And you weren't never going to get rich fishing this circuit, that's for sure.
It's hard to make a living in fishing, from what I'm starting to figure out. I mean, there's people out there that are blessed enough to be able to do it, but it's not an easy task. I know a couple of guys here that live downtown. They do pro some pro bass fishing tournaments, and they got sponsors from, like, one of them sponsored by Ranger and Toyota, and he still has money that comes out of pocket every time he fishes. They cover his costs and stuff, but you know, if he wins or whatever, he's paying for gas. He's got hotel rooms that he has to pay for, stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes. So you got a nice mug there, Tom.
You like that?
I like
Somebody
that.
sent this to me. They sent me the sticker.
Sent you the sticker. Yeah, I don't make those mugs. I used to have those stickers. I'm totally out of them, so sorry, guys. We do have a question from Chris over at Hooks and Hacks. He says, how did Tom come to know the 1 Ton Fishing Club and Catfish Regulator?
Well, 1 Ton, I met them first. They were in, God, I'm not sure. Maybe it was one of Chunky's chats or somebody. And when I saw that they said that they fished, they're from Southern Virginia and they fished at Kerr, you know, I reached out to them and we started talking a little bit. One day they said they were live, and I saw where they were at, and you know, I got in the chat and I said, hey, you mind if I come over? And I said, you know, I'll stop in at the Dunkin' Donuts. Do you want a coffee? And so they said, come on down. So
They said, of course.
We've been fishing together ever since. Yep. Aaron, he came along a little later after I had been hanging out with them for quite a bit. They had reached out, or he had reached out to 1 Ton, or somehow they got together, and he came up from North Carolina to fish with us. He lives about an hour and a half from me, south of me. And, you know, we got together, and it was an interesting first meeting. He brought another gentleman with him, wandering fisherman, Sean, who's a nice guy. And I think I've fished almost every Friday since last October with Aaron.
You and Aaron have taken each other pretty good. You guys spent a lot of time together fishing on that dock, so it's really cool to see you guys out there, especially late on Friday nights. I'm a night owl. If you guys in podcast land don't get it, there's a group of us that probably hardly ever sleep, so we might as well be fishing or watching fishing while that's happening. So I appreciate you and Tom being out on that dock all hours of the night on the weekend. So it gives me something to watch, or even when I get up in the middle of the night, it's really cool to watch. So where can they see this? On usually on Aaron's channel, right? Catfish Regulator.
Yeah, we go on his channel because the reception is so bad. I have the worst reception of anybody that's ever come to the dock. I mean, I can't go live from there, so we do it on his stream. I mean, literally everybody that comes here. Art actually has the best connection of anybody when he comes here.
And it's turned into almost like that dock's almost turning into a destination. Am I wrong?
No, it's I don't get it, but I you know, everybody talks the world famous dock. You know, it's like, I think it's hysterical, and I'm proud of that you know, people want to come here and fish with us. And
hey, I'm going to do an East Coast tour, and that's one of my stops. Trust me. Go out there and hang out with you guys. It's because it seems it's real fishing with you guys out there. I mean, it absolutely is. And you guys hook into that big one every now and then. You get that exciting. There's the smack talk mix into it. It's kind of kicked back. It's a little older of a crowd. But who are some of the people that have visited you on the dock?
Wow. Obviously, you know, the 1 Ton and Aaron, because they're here. Two stands has been here a couple times. Chris and Telly have been here. Mike Chavez and Sharon have been here. David Pruitt, Slime Slingers has been here. Oh man, I don't want to forget nobody. Laura the Explorer has been here.
Laura, I believe. I was just thinking that.
And as you said, Jody has been here. Pontoon Jody just left, actually.
Just left from this weekend.
Yeah. I hope I'm not forgetting anybody. Three of the 1 Tonners have been here. Jared has not made it here yet. He's very busy. He works a lot. But Carl finally came over. We got to have him on the dock instead of going over to Kerr all the time. Kenneth, Takedown Catfishing's been here. Wannabe Outdoors has been here.
That's right. Matt's been out there.
Matt,
He got a big old flathead out there, didn't he?
He got that over at Kerr. That didn't come from the dock. That came from the night before.
The night before,
Yeah.
okay.
Mhm.
I saw pictures on Facebook. I don't recall where it was, but still, that was up there while he was visiting you, though, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, he's an Arkansas boy, so if he caught it
Yep.
on Kerr, that was while he was out there. So,
Yeah.
We got another quick question from Chris Husselton. He says, "Do you net your bait off the dock, Tom?"
I wish, excuse me. I wish we could, but there's only a couple of feet of water out there, and we're way out from the channel. We don't get a whole lot of bait up in there. We go over to Kerr. There's a couple spots where we can get it. I'm not so useful with the net. I got a bad shoulder, and so I'm a good bucket guy. I'm not the net guy.
Hey, everybody's got a way they can help, so that's always good. Yeah, a cast that'll wreck your shoulder if you let it, especially when you get older like me. I'm not calling you old, Tom. Don't take that the wrong way. When you get older like me, them shoulders get a little rickety from using them so much, but throwing a cast that'll do that, especially if you're not getting on the bait. That's when it really hurts.
Yeah. My shoulder fell victim to my son's husky, so got him out on the leash one night, and he took off running while I had my back turned, and when he pulled that leash tight, I don't know what he did to my shoulder, but it ain't been the same since.
My only word of advice is try not to have surgery. That's all I'm going to say. Physical therapy. It'll help you. We can talk about that offline. Pontoon Jody says, Tom has another interest. So here's a question for it. What vowel-less Florida band had a hit with Freebird?
You got to try harder than that, Jody. Come on now. That would be Leonard Skinnerd.
Leonard Skinner, that's right. Sometimes why, though, and ask me how I know. Here we go. We got people answering that. Yeah, Tom and me, we're both pretty much music fanatics. We'll shoot the shit a little bit about music every now and then. So actually, weren't we getting into a talk about like greatest drummers and guitarists the other night on one of the stream? Anyways, I think it was on One Ton or on Josh's stream when One Ton went live. So that was cool. Always fun talking with you in the chat. So let's talk a little bit about your goals for 2021. You set a pretty lofty one, didn't you? Is it 2021 or is it since you started catfishing? What was?
Yeah,
when did it start?
2021, January 1st to December 31st. Yeah, everybody had when I watching all the shows and everybody was doing their own thing, and I said, I'd like to do something, but I don't want to just be like everybody else. And I decided if I'm going to give this a go, I said I'd like to try to catch 365 fish in 365 days. And I hadn't seen anybody do that, and I said, yeah, that's what I want to do. And I know there's other places. There's places I could have gone to go to number spots, but I'm really kind of happy doing it here, doing it local, doing it my way. I don't want to, I just want it to be on my terms. So yeah, well, I'm fishing here.
You're the only one you're competing against in something like that, which is like when I do my bucket list, fish lists and stuff, that's just for me. Or when I set a weight slot that I want to fall into, that's just for me. I'm not competing with anybody else. And I think that's the best kind of competition to promote like self-growth. And I'll tell you right now, that's a pretty lofty one you set for you. So today being November 1st, which means you got roughly 2 months left, right?
Yep.
What number are you at now?
302.
302. So how many fish a day do you need to catch between now and December 31st?
I think there's 63 fish and there's like 60 days. So I just fell under. I need a little bit more than one fish a day.
One fish a day?
So, yeah.
Have you ever got skunked when you've been out on the dock?
Oh yeah. There's been days when I said I'm gonna go fish for 2 hours and I fish for 7 and still get skunked because I'm not leaving until I get one. And finally I run out of bait. The turtles took it all, or I can't stay anymore. And but yeah, it happens kind of regularly. Where we're at, the dock is up in the old river channel where they flooded the lake. And we're a long cast away from the channel. You got to really sling it out there to get it to the drop off. And we don't have an abundance of fish. I mean, there's plenty of fish, but this isn't
I was
a
gonna
numbers
say,
spot.
have you seen my live streams fishing on the Fox? Holy smokes! Don't
I've
tell me
seen you
don't
do
have-
really well out there.
Yeah, I got to work for it, though, man.
But I'll tell you,
this old man has to work hard to get those fish in that boat. But I'm not saying that other people don't, but I feel like I got to work hard to get them in the boat.
Yeah, we seem to do on our weekend ventures. Aaron comes up; he gets here around 6:30 on Friday morning, and we go down to the dock and we fish all day. We come up for dinner, then we go down and we spend all night down there, and we fish until sometimes 9-10 Saturday morning. And I think if we averaged it out, if we fish for 10 hours, we get 10 fish. We fish for 24 hours, we get 22, 24. We're catching about a fish an hour, pretty consistently, but there's very seldom a day when you go down there and you catch 6 fish in 30, 40 minutes. That don't happen here.
Yeah, you guys really spots. Yeah, you guys really grind, and that's sometimes the way you got to do it. That's the same way our water's here. You can grind. Some spots are better than others. My stretch of the river, I got to grind. Either that or I'm doing something wrong. It's probably a little bit of both. I'm not even going to kid around. So, so you're about one fish a day. I think you're going to make it. I have full confidence. But let me ask you this question, though. What if you don't? Are you going to start again come January 1st? Have you thought about that at all?
I'm trying to be positive, and I think if it starts getting towards the end of December and I haven't caught them, I'm going to be in my snowmobile suit and I'm going to be living down on that dock. I don't want to. Well, the thing is, I've caught 3 small catfish on my bait rod that were so small. They were catfish. They were willy size, if you remember that tournament, those tiny little ones. Yeah. And I refused to count them because I didn't want to take a picture holding up one of those little things. So if I fall 3 fish short, I am going to be so mad at myself. But I got to stick to it.
Hey, kid, where I look at it, a catfish is a catfish. If you made the promise to yourself that you're going after numbers, you're going after numbers of fish. Did you set a minimum for yourself after that or no? Minimum size-wise? No. Well, there you go. Hopefully you'll be 3 over. That's what I'm hoping for.
I say I'll take 365 on the dot. I don't care.
I'm going to predict 367. There's my prediction. How about that?
All right. I'll let you know New Year's Eve.
There you go. J-Dog's gone. Fishing says, will LGBASS do the J-Dog challenge if I come fish with him?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, don't say blame me. For those of you listening at home, the J-Dog challenge is to eat bait. We're not eating bait. I don't think me or Tom will at all. And there's Real-Time Catfish that says, I'm going to make my dock famous. There you go.
Yep. I think he's going to be the next one. We're going to work that out, see when we can get John down here.
All right, I'm falling behind here on the chats. It says, Matt over at Want to Be Outdoors says, Tom, Josh, Art, and I fished for 12 hours or so and caught 1 fish. It was more just about hanging around and eating. Hey, nothing wrong with that. You guys are speaking the language of my people.
Michelle hooked that up, and Matt had some food with him that he had brought that his girlfriend had made for him to take with. Oh, man, we did. We had a little feast down there in the middle of the night.
Cool. Justin says Gabby Goose, which is his wonderful daughter, done the J-Dog challenge. Well, that's a kid. Sorry, Gabby. I can't believe you did that. So let's talk a little bit about food. On your channel lately, I've seen that the lovely Michelle has been posting a couple of cooking videos as of late. What's going on with all that? Is that something that she's are you talking to her into doing that, or is that something she's doing on her under her own will?
Believe it or not, I because I don't have reception, I don't go live down there, and I don't know how to put a video together. And I came back from fishing one day, and she said, come on, get herself a drink and come in here. I want to show you something. And she sat down in front of the computer and she just played that video for me. She did that all on her own while I was out, and I was shocked. And she got such a good response from the first one. She's now made a second one, and she's doing it all on her own.
Maybe you need to set her up with their own channel, like Michelle Cooks, or We can talk about names later. I can think of a couple of good names for her that would be kind of cool, having to do with her screen name and stuff as it is. So that would be pretty cool. So what has she cooked so far? That first one that really got me going. I'm like,
first one was the breakfast sandwich, or the breakfast sandwich.
Sandwich.
And that's taken on a life of its own. That's why she did it. It's not more than anything. She gets so many comments on it, and she just said, well, let me just throw this out there. And she'll tell anybody, the sandwich is easy to make. It's just, she put a video together how she does it. And tell you what, when you've been down there for 20 hours and you're hungry, and she calls on the phone and says, come on up and get your sandwiches. And you come down there and they're still hot and warm, and she's got them wrapped in wax paper so that you don't get your filthy hands all over the sandwich.
I'm jealous. And for those of you listening at home, and for those of you that haven't seen the video, we're talking homemade bread. She makes like English toasting bread, right? If I'm not mistaken, is that what she calls it? Yep. Homemade bread, guys. It doesn't get any better than that. Eggs and cheese and some bacon. I said bacon again. So I said I wasn't going to say it, but I couldn't help myself. So there was one morning she put some sausage in it, and that came out really well too. So we found a little one of our local stores. They do some their own sausage, and their patties are really good. So we're going to try to probably do that next week or one of these weeks when next time we get out. We may not get together this weekend. We have an event we have to go to. So okay. You'll just have to fish and eat twice as hard to catch up on those numbers then.
Yeah. And so there's some other, she had a request for a new video from One Ton, and she, among others, and she's going to be working on that here with pretty soon. I'm not sure when that'll come out. She hasn't started, but she did go shopping and she bought a lot of the things that she will need for that, and so that's going to be a surprise.
They turned out very, very, very well. I've been wanting to do like catch and cooks for a long time, and I just have a big problem figuring out the logistics of how to best film them and stuff. And I think the way she did it, it's a good thing. And I already told you I was going to steal that whole way of doing it, and I think you said that she was happy to hear that. So good. I don't feel so bad about doing it. So make sure you guys check that out. And the second one was what, the ooey gooey bars?
The ooey gooey bar, yeah. It's a take on a granola bar that she made, and she makes those for me. Rather than buying store-bought treats, she can control what goes in it. I have some health issues and with my weight and all, and so she started messing around with them, and she put them together. And I think the first time we had them, she had them in the pan, and I took the pan with me, and we left them sitting in a little bit in the sun in the back of the car, and you picked them up, and the chocolate that was in them started to melt. It was all melty, so they became the ooey gooey bars.
Perfect.
Instead of a granola bar.
Sheila, my wife, was in here while I was watching that video, and she's like, that looks really good. So she watched it all the way to the end with me. She's like, I'd make and eat that. And she's like the pickiest eater in the world. So that's a big compliment to Michelle, whether she knows it or not. So
she's listening in the other room. So
okay, good. I'm glad she is. Let's see. We got something here from Jody. Says, Tom and Michelle are the best and have become my new friends. Tom is the sweetest, and Michelle is a great cook. They make you feel very welcome. I definitely get that feeling from everybody that visits down there. Everybody has the nicest things to say. Maybe you should open like a little bed and breakfast over there, one room thing, and start charging people. Forget making a fortune fishing. You can start, in the hospitality industry.
Yeah. Well, we're kind of like in the middle of nowhere, so I don't know if that would be a hindrance or a plus. I don't know, but we're fortunate. We have what we have, and we're only about, I don't know, maybe 300 yards from the water, from the dock. Oh, there's her answer right there.
No. She's going to be like, I used to like you, Mark. Now I don't know. So we started talking about Lake Gaston and a little bit of fishing. And you were saying that the end you're on was flooded, correct? Flooded out, which is how it came to be.
Yeah, it's a man-made lake. The Kerr Lake is actually an Army Corps of Engineers lake, and
Okay.
in that end, you're not allowed to build on the shoreline because they can fluctuate that water, up 25 feet, down 25 feet, and so if you were, they'd leave you high and dry or underwater. So when I wanted to move down here, I kind of wanted to have a place right near the water. And although I fished Kerr more and really liked the fishing over there, it was more feasible to live over here. So we bought the place in 2000, I guess it was. And it was set up as my retirement home at that point. And now it's become my full-time residence. But the lake was flooded, I believe, in 63, 64, somewhere right around there. It was the old Roanoke River, and that ran through it, and they just flooded that and cut down all the trees and all that were out in the water to make it navigable. And now the water here can't go up or down a foot over what they consider the mean level, so that they don't leave anybody floating or high and dry here. So they control this one because there's a dam at the other end. And actually Lake Gaston is the water supply for Virginia Beach. Okay. So they generate current and electricity and all that, and the water going through the lake down the Roanoke River. But yeah, so good.
Do they generate power at the dam, or is it just a regular controlled dam?
Yeah, it's a controlled. They do downriver, I believe they do the power when it comes out of what the lake below us is Roanoke Rapids Lake, and I believe they have a hydro station down there where they do all that, below us. Mm-hmm. But so they have some crazy schedules. Yesterday, I was down there, and they generated from 8 in the morning until like noon, and then 5 o'clock last night until 9. There's like no reason to. You got to call them every day and find out that they don't have a schedule, but they do have a machine you can call and get the time, but they won't post it until midnight of that day. So it's you never know what you're going to get, and the bite is 100% better when the water's running as opposed to when it's not.
So there's no website around. They don't post until midnight. You were saying on the website. I'm sorry, I was reading a message.
Yeah, no, they have an answering machine, and it gives you a tape recorded message what time they're going to generate for that day.
And how does that affect your fishing? Have you noticed a difference?
Oh yeah. When the water's moving, the bait's moving, everything's moving, and we get a ton more bites. When the water's standing flat and it's been flat all day, the bite is terrible. That's usually more of the skunk days than when the water's running.
Do they run the dam more in the summer than they do in the winter?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They do, I imagine. Yeah, all their air conditioning and stuff. So hopefully the cold weather will offset that bite and help you get the rest of the fish that you need, because I'm really pulling for you to get that 365. So cool. And so what kind of fishing techniques are you guys using on the dock there? I know it's considered dock fishing, bank fishing, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Just what, standard rigging or live bait, cut bait?
We've tried the live bait a little bit. We haven't had a whole lot of success with it. Believe it or not, I threw out a small bluegill and I caught a largemouth bass on it.
I can believe that.
I've had that. Not necessarily on live bait, but I've caught 5 or 6 decent sized largemouth off the dock, in the middle of the night while catfishing. But we throw Carolina rigs, Santee rigs. Like I said, the big thing is the distance you got to throw. Basically, if there was a style to it, I'd call it grip it and rip it. You just throw as far as you can and hope it makes the channel. And that's where majority of the bites come. Or if you can get it to sit right up on the top of the ledge, when they're coming up out of there to feed. There's an expansive flat, and we do catch some fish, but mostly we catch channel cats up on the flat. Not too many, close into the shore, too many blues or the occasional flathead. All those have all come out of the deeper water.
SK's Crappie Catch Adventure trying to make me jealous. Is Mark, I just had some crappie fillets that were swimming a couple hours ago. Hopefully that'll be me tomorrow, SK. Keep your fingers crossed for me. I'm going fishing in the morning. Weather here is getting bad. The weatherman says it's going to be 25 degrees when I leave here tomorrow, Tom. Can you believe that? What's crazy. The weather like where you're at?
It's a little chilly today. I think the lows we've been getting down into the mid 40s at night. But there's been a breeze blowing almost all week, in the 5 to 7, 8 mile an hour range. So, I was down the dock last night. I won't lie, I retreated to sit in the Jeep for a few minutes every now and then. We can I pull the Jeep right down to the edge of the dock. So,
and keep warm in there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, but does the lake ever freeze at all? Edge ice, any of that?
No. Nope.
No.
Nope. Not at all. I don't think in the 20 years I've been here that it has, because they generate that water. And I probably at the other end where there's less current, I'm going to guess maybe they might get some skim ice, as the year goes on. But we're right in the river channel, and we're only 7 miles from the dam. So when they release that water, that's moving water, and it's usually rolling pretty good. Not big Mike good. We don't have no 70,000 cubic square inches or nothing like that. We're lucky if we get like 32, 34, and that's rolling. That will take 4 or 5 ounces to get your bait to sit out there without moving.
Which isn't too bad. And you guys have learned that spot pretty well, because you guys know when you're going to lose tackling when you're not, pretty much, from what I can tell, right?
Oh yeah, we have a spot that's called the Hole of Hades. I don't know what is actually underneath that. It's probably an old log or an old rock, but it has been hung so many times and so many lines broken off from it. There's line hanging. Every time we go out there, it's an experience. You throw out there because there's fish there. So you have to do it because you have a good chance of catching a fish. But once you throw that bait out there, you don't check that bait for hours, because if there's no fish on it, you're going to snag something coming through it. So we kind of wait to see if we can get a fish to pull it out of there. And there'll be times when we'll just leave that rod for hours and hours, and then it's time to go. And of course, it's snagged up and has been for hours. But we've caught some where we got bait and he swims it right out of there, and we catch some nice fish. So it's a chance you take. And luckily, I just placed another order with Brad tonight for more sinkers. So.
Yeah, they say if you're not getting snagged up, you're not fishing in the right spot. So you guys definitely are. We got Chad with a comment here. Fishing with the Chad says, how does it feel to go from catching ditch pickles to being one of the best catfishermen in the USA? He is like the master at underhanded compliments, isn't he?
Yeah. I wish that were true, Chad. If I thought you really believed that, I'd be honored. I'm enjoying it. I got to say that. I did say I was going to take this year to evaluate what I think. And I've got to say, I'm 57 years old. My body ain't what it was even 5 years ago anymore. I'm not really thinking that I want to be standing on the trolling motor for 8-10 hours and 95-degree heat, bouncing up and down in waves, and to try to catch a 3-pound fish, 5-pound fish, whatever. I kind of like throwing a bait out and sitting my butt in the chair. I'm getting really kind of used to that. And every hour or two, okay, I got to get up now. And hey, there's a fish. And you wouldn't believe the speed that I can generate when that rod bends. It shocks me, that's for sure.
Trust me, I'm the same way, man. I'll sit in the chair, but as soon as I see that thing, I'm getting up. I'll surprise my wife. She's watching one of my videos. She's like, I didn't know you could move that fast, Mr. Mark. Yeah. I sped it up. I'll lie to her a little bit and see if I can get away with it. So.
That's kind of me. It's like, don't get in my way. I'm going to hit check you right on off this little dock here.
So you're going to stick with the bank, or do you think you're ever going to take your boat out? I know you got a nice Ranger, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I got a Z519. Yeah.
Okay, so that's fiberglass, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
The good old bass sparkles, the whole deal.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
see, that's kind of my thing. Is if I'm going to transition wholesale, I'm probably going to sell the boat because it doesn't do me good, and I'm not going to if I want to resell it, once I slime up the carpet and drill rod holders into it, it's going to be less attractive to anybody that wants to buy it. So, unless I'm going to continue to bass fish on a regular basis, I'm probably going to sell the boat, and then I may look to pick up something more suitable to the catfishing.
Mm-hmm.
But even I couldn't tournament fish out of it because the live well is small.
Right.
And there's really no room to put in one of those removable tanks that everybody puts in there. The boat just ain't built for that.
Right. I mean, I see guys put them on the front decks and stuff, but it's a lot of weight. So, and you're in big catfish waters too. So you definitely would need one a little bit bigger. So, and I can't imagine that somebody looking to buy a bass boat would look at one or be as crazy about buying one that's all catfish ready to go. That would definitely. So I think you're making a smart move to trade up, or you can just stay on the bank. There's nothing wrong with being a bank fisherman. My grandfather did that, God rest his soul, his whole life, and he was the happiest man on the face of this earth when he was fishing. So there's nothing wrong with that either. So how long has it been since you've been out on the boat?
It's been a year.
It's been a while.
Yep. Last when the tournaments came to an end, I haven't taken it out.
Maybe you need to take it out to remind yourself all the work that a boat is. Maybe that'll help you answer the question right then and there.
Well, as we were talking earlier, it's the first of the month, so I just made that boat payment today, so I know all about that. Yeah, that was work. So, and it's just sitting in the driveway. So,
Chris and Telly were out at the dock with you too. You got a chance to go in their boat, right?
Yep. Yeah, we had a blast.
Cool.
We fished the. Actually, I'll tell you if you're not familiar. Kelly she got her Grand Slam. We were here one morning, and she caught her channel and the blue here, and then we went over to Kerr to fish from the bank with 1 ton that night, and she got a flathead.
That's awesome.
She got a Grand Slam in 2 different lakes on the bank and in the boat. So I thought that was unique. Probably nobody maybe never done that before.
I'll probably never get a Grand Slam. I don't fish well, I have no blues up here either way, but I don't have that kind of luck. But that would be something definitely. I know a few of the guys out there like J-Dog have gotten a Grand Slam. I think didn't Jeremy's tournament cats, didn't he get one this weekend too? He got a Grand Slam. A couple of people.
I think he did. Yeah,
I think he did. And congratulations, everybody did really good in the Iron Cat over on Kevin's channel. So that was cool. Catfish Regulators has a comment, says, anyone looking for live scope? Jody is for hire. Now that brings up our next topic of discussion. All right. There's always like some side bets going on in the catfish community. We know that. That for sure. And they're not money bets, at least not usually. They're usually some silly bets. What are some of the bets that have come across the dock, and like maybe in order of how they happened and how they kind of built up? So,
well, there hasn't been a whole lot of bets between us, but Jody, she started the whole thing where she gave us a challenge to see that she would donate $100 to us if the 4 of us, being Josh, Art, myself, and Kenneth Parsons takedown, if we could catch 4 fish in an hour. Now, Art was working the chat, and I didn't hear any of this going on. As I told you, this is not a numbers doc. So when he told me that, I said, that's a sucker's bet. There ain't no way we're going to catch 4 fish. But
that's what I thought when I was watching from home.
Yeah, they had already agreed to do it. And there is a video of this. We lost, and we had to do the catwalk up and down the dock. As people have been known to say, I've heard comments that people have had to bleach their eyeballs after watching it. So it's not for the
faint at heart. Is
for
that
the
what
faint,
you're going to say?
But it was interesting, and it was kind of funny. So
it was all good fun. You guys even had the filter going on the YouTube channel, so you guys had like disco light kind of ravey colors going, and you got all of these big burly men walking the runway on the dock. It was something to see. I'm thinking, oh, that Jody's gonna really emasculate a bunch of men in this community, and she's doing pretty good. She's had guys put makeup on. She got one guy to dress up like a unicorn. She got the 1-tonners and you guys to do the runway. And then finally, what happened? Last Friday, there was a 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. challenge between Catfish regulators, between Aaron and Pontoon Jody with Jody. And tell us a little bit about that.
That was an interesting little thing that they had going on. They had a big fish challenge all night long. Biggest fish at the end of the day wins. Loser has to take the polar plunge off the dock into Lake Gaston. And mind you, it was October the 29th or the 30th. The water's starting to get down there, and it's probably maybe low 60s about now. Although in her favor, the water was warmer than the air. So when she got out, it was probably worse than when she jumped in. But she lost, and she was a trooper. All right, here I go. And she walked in, and when she got a little bit in the water, where she had enough water to dive, she dove in. And props to her. It was incredible. She was she's a rock star. That's what Aaron was. He was bragging a little bit about it and giving her a hard time. And I said, you may have won the contest, but she won the day. She's a rock star for doing that.
Absolutely. So, and she's not done with you guys yet. I can see some bets coming in the future, so I wouldn't be too sure of yourselves. So now that she's got a feel of what to expect on that dock, I trust you, or trust me, she's going to work that angle to her best. So.
Well, I think the only issue she had is that kept her from doing a little better is she didn't have the right equipment to make the long cast to get out as far as she needed to. She had some rods, and they obviously she had her boat gear on them, and but we've been working on that. And she said she's practicing and she's getting more distance on her cast. She used a lot heavier line. We had told her, if you downsize from your 50 to the 30. You'll get a lot more distance. However, she had that the tournament Sunday, and she needed that 50-pound back on. So she said, "No, I'm just going to go with what I got." And she did great. She caught a fish. She caught a couple of fish before the contest started, and then she caught some on the live after the contest ended. And so she caught some fish. They weren't big flatheads like she's used to, but I think she had a really good time. We enjoyed having her here, and I've already invited her, told her she's welcome anytime she wants to come back, and no polar plunge necessary this time.
There you go. It looks like you guys had a good time. I watched a good part of that night. So Brian B. Catfish says, Aaron suckered her into that bet. Aaron got a man up and bet people on their own water, but he's scared. The smag dog is already. There's 2 Stan's fishing. What's up, Stan? Says, I've been swimming off that dock. The water wasn't bad. That was in the middle of summer, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was June or July, I think. You're welcome to come down and do it again, Stan.
There you go. Or come on out here. The water was I got a report today that the water was like 48 degrees out here. So it's getting down there real quick, especially on the Fox being so shallow. We'll see what the chain's like tomorrow. So what are your future plans for the channel, your fishing life? Do you see yourself going back to bass fishing in general? I know you said you're not wanting to stand on the front of a boat all day over a trolling motor.
Well,
what are your?
In honesty, right now, like I said, I have some health issues. I don't necessarily want to go out on the boat by myself, especially in this really cold water. If I were to, fall off or fall in, that wouldn't be very good for me. And I may not have the ability to get back up in the boat in that really cold water. It doesn't freeze, but it's still cold enough that it would do the damage. So I may become more of a fair weather fisherman if I do keep the bass boat. And we have a little pond. I mean, I can catch bass off the dock occasionally. They swim through there, and we have a pond in the development that has bass in it too. So I can get my fix that way if I need to. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure what's going to go on. I do take a picture of every fish that I catch. If you've ever noticed,
I did. I do the same thing.
Yeah, well, is he taking a picture of that 14-inch fish? But but I put them all in a file, and I have them all numbered with the date and the number as they come along. So when I'm done for the year, I'm going to put together some type of a montage or something to finalize everything. And I found out from looking back at the pictures, there's some information to be gleaned from all that. Aaron caught his 61-pounder off the dock May 1st, I believe it was. And I caught a 48 and a 35 like 5 days later. And they were at 3 in the afternoon, both days. In the spring, all the fish were moving up the river channel. They're going up towards the dam to start their spawn and all that. But so next year, although the calendar itself, it's more the water temperature than the calendar, but I'll know the very end of April to May, beginning of May will be about when I want to start really spending more time down there to catch some big ones. But Aaron caught his PB. I caught a bigger. The 48 was my PB at the time, but I've got a 52.5 one night fishing with Josh and Art, and in the middle of about 4 o'clock in the morning. There is a video on my page for that. I've been kind of dependent upon other people to help me put videos together, for my lack of knowledge and experience and ability to go live and create my own. So I'm going to try to work on that. Can't say for sure how that's going to go. But if Michelle's making videos, I guess I can make videos. So, so we're going to try to work
Michelle's
something out.
Michelle's pretty talented, so I don't know about that.
Oh,
You'll have to prove yourself to us. So thank you, Crappie Day Fish On, for the $2.22. Gee, I wonder what that has to do with right there. See that, Stan? Super chat, I appreciate you. He says, Stan the man. P.S. Mark, love your show. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Thank you for the support. Good stuff.
Yeah, I got to say, big shout out to Michelle. She's every bit as much of if you'll say, the experience of coming to the dock as the fishing. She puts on a feast for us on Friday nights before we go back down there to go live. And I mean, we've had some 2-inch thick ribeye steaks, a couple of them over 2 pounds a piece.
I know. I get the pictures.
Oh, yeah. Aaron sent you pictures, yeah.
Yeah, we got a group of guys that send each other food pictures every time somebody cooks something good for dinner to make the other one mad. And it's usually on the weekends that we all end up sending each other pictures of good stuff, so that's good. Yeah. I'm gonna cook me a big old tomahawk during the week and send that to Aaron on a Wednesday while he's at work. So you got that coming, bud.
So I'm thinking also, I think as far as merchandise from the different sites and all that, I collect coffee mugs. That's my thing. I said, I have hats, I have sweatshirts, I have shirts from a lot of my favorite channels. But you can only wear you can't wear a sweatshirt all year long. So the coffee mugs, I have coffee every day, and I try to coordinate if the mug has a day of the week associated with it. I try to use that mug on that day. Like, for instance, Sunday, I have a Palmetto mug, a Stand Day mug, and a Green Machine mug. So nice. I tend to, it has to be one of those 3 mugs, and I try to rotate them every week so that I share the love with everybody. And Thursday night, I have my Angry Face James Dockery mug, so for that night. And so I try to spread them out. I've gotten, I don't know, maybe 20 mugs. Now, Michelle's had to take mugs out of the cabinet so I can have them in my collection.
Speaking of Thursday nights, I'm on Panfish Nation on Thursday night, so you don't only need to use that angry coffee mug on Thursdays. You can use that Catfish and Crappie one on Mondays and Thursdays if you like. It wouldn't bother me none. So.
Well, I tell you, this mug has gone everywhere with me. It doesn't matter what day of the week it is. It goes down to the dock full. And when I put my rods in the rod holders, every now and then, if I'm dying of thirst and I'm out of drinks, I'll call up and then, hey Michelle, can you fill up my mug or get me something? And I'll drive up the hill as fast as I can, doing 90 miles an hour because my rods are in the water. And she'll meet me in the driveway with the mug full of fresh ice water, and I take it back down the dock. Or coffee in the morning. I'll say, hey, I need a refill on my coffee. She'll hurry up. She'll meet me in the driveway and she'll refill the mug for me. So
isn't there a song by Ray Charles with the line in it that says, "My baby brings me coffee in my favorite cup"? I forget what the name of that song is, but every time I hear that every time I get a cup of coffee from, I'll send you a link to it. I think it's "My Baby Loves Me" or something. It's a great song. It's a good song. Now I'm really showing my age, so we'll share that. So you clicked in those coffee cups. So if you guys got some merch out there, you might want to send Tom a link. You might be looking forward to that, or might be looking for a mug for a certain day of the week. Any days of the week that you don't have a mug for yet?
Tuesday's Roger. He doesn't have a mug.
No, he doesn't.
That I know of. Last time I checked, he didn't have any.
Unless he has something on Teespring, that could very well be too. Yeah,
I mean, if everybody, the channels that I like, that don't have something from, I've checked into them. Maybe not as recent as I should, but I've been trying to keep up with everybody. Or if somebody posts a link in somebody's chat, for the merch link, I try to go in them. I think the next thing that I'm going to do, and I guess I'll have Michelle help me with it. I actually want to do a little montage for all my cups. So,
cool.
I'll set them up, and so that way I can post that to have something to post and show my support for the channels that I spend my time on. And, I think that'll be something. We've been talking about it for a couple of weeks, and so, I can sit here and take pictures of coffee mugs, or I can go fishing. Wonder which one I'm going to pick.
Yeah, I'm going to go fishing.
If I got bait, I'm going fishing.
That's right. That's usually the question of the day. Do I have enough bait? At least for me, it is. So, all right, Tom, we're over an hour now. I really appreciate talking to you. I appreciate you taking the time to share your story and everything, and talk about the doc and cooking and Michelle and that. It was really cool. And I know you were a little apprehensive, thinking that people don't want to talk to a bass guy, but man, just like I told you, if the tug's the drug, I don't care what's on the other end. We give each other a lot of business, but I don't think there's one person here that would hold it against you if they met you in real life, or if they talked to you on the phone for doing that. At least not unless somebody else is watching, then they got to do it. So,
well, I said, as I told Laurie one night, I'm a multi-dimensional angler. I catch anything that swims. So she always makes fun of that. Multi-dimensional. Yeah. So
multi-dimensional.
But
all right. Thank you again, my friend. I want to thank everybody in chat.
Very welcome. I appreciate you having me.
Let me get a couple of plugs in here. We got Panfish Nation on Thursday night. We're trying to get Lyle to 1,000 subs. We're trying to get Avid to 1,000 subs. We're trying to get James Dockery to 500 subs. Too bad nobody was sharing those Dockery links out in chat today. That would have been good. There's a lot of other creators out there. I know that Circle Hook Productions is getting close. Am I missing anybody that we want to help support? Support your local creators. If you like their content, make sure you spread the word. Make sure you get them some sub. Let's get them to 1,000 so they can at least cover their costs with whatever little profits they make on their channel. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you, everybody, for listening, for following on the podcast. I appreciate you. Everybody have a good night. Go out and fish your little hearts out before it gets too cold. It's never too cold. All right, have a good one. Bye-bye.